Good morning, Flagler County, and welcome to Veterans on Point, a WNZF radio show developed in mind for our county's beloved and respected veterans population and anyone else listening via internet or podcast. I'm your host, David Lydon, the Flagler County Veterans Services Officer, and I'm here with my friend and colleague at the office, Eric Flores. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Dave, and good morning to all our listeners out there, and hoping that everybody's doing well health-wise and enjoying what we have, the little rain that we have, the great weather that we have, the beach that we have, and everything that's been given to us by the Lord.
Yeah, we're blessed in Flagler County. If you're lucky enough to live in Flagler County, you are lucky enough. And so we're going to thank our League of Loyal listeners who live in Flagler County. And, of course, the leader is Billy Jones and his lovely wife, Joe.
Good morning, guys.
And we're going to take the time to wish Joe all the best. She's recently had some health procedures done, and you're in our prayers, Joe.
Yes, you are.
And, of course, Master Chief Dan and his wife, Kay, are always in our thoughts and prayers as well.
Indeed. Good morning,
up there at San Cyr. And our Marine pal, Jeff Kingdon, who's all over the place. Jeff, thanks for always listening and being out there. And
he's in Colorado?
He probably will be. So have a good trip. Enjoy your grandchildren's graduation.
Yes. Enjoy that weather.
Yeah, don't slip on any ice. Talking Tom and his wife Eileen, thanks for being listeners, and Charlie and his wife Jenny. And we've got Valerie and Dennis and Sharon and Bill and Shane and Norman and Howard and William and Keith. And we got Jims and Jameses and Stephen and David and Mrs. Martin and Mr. Holt, James the mail maid. We got James Lee the firefighter and Bicycle Frank.
I saw him at the ceremony.
Bicycle Frank, yes, we did. Saw him on Memorial Day.
Indeed.
All the best to Frankie Sr., who just had some health procedures done. You're in our thoughts and prayers as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And he told me that Frankie, when he was in the hospital, Frankie Jr. told him that we mentioned his father, Frankie Sr. So
that's awesome.
He said, sometimes Frankie Jr. will just tell me something, and I said, no, we mentioned you on the air.
Yeah, he don't miss a bit.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, who else we got here? Rudolph and Thomas and Leon and I think I got pretty much everybody, but everybody else who's a listener or a loyal listener and we don't mention, if you'd like to be mentioned, give us a call. And for that matter, we are the Flagler County Veterans Services Officers at 1769 East Moody Boulevard in Bunnell. That's the Government Services Building. We're in room 108. Our phone number is 386-313-4014. If we can help you with your VA claim or direct you towards other resources that the VA offers for health care, education benefits, home loan benefits, burial benefits, and even with some help with your maybe sometimes active duty retirement, survivor benefit plan for the spouses, all that kind of stuff. So
put our number on your cell phone.
386-313-4014. Eric and I both have long exposure to the military and in veteran services. So
not to Agent Orange.
No we have no exposure to Agent Orange. God bless. And but we have been exposed to oil fires and
who knows what else,
burn pits and stuff like that. At least that's what that's what legislation says. This week, at the request again of Fred Pellman, and in recognition of the D-Day anniversary coming up June 6th this week, we will end the show, this week's show, with another popular song of World War II, and this week is The Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy by the Andrews Sisters. You familiar with that one?
No. Maybe I listened to it and I can't remember, but I will when I get back.
Yeah, it's the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company D.
That's crazy. Good.
Yep. So,
are we gonna do that for Vietnam era too? Because that's gonna be a great one.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, there's a lot of good songs from the Vietnam era.
That's right.
So
we could do that too. All right, so we've got our legal loyal listeners in. We got our song of the so that song will be at the end of the program. Um, let's Brent Warnoff. He is with the Palm Coast Observer, and he will help you put a Veteran of the Week in their pages if you give him some information like pictures and a bio and some military information for your favorite veteran, whether that's a friend, colleague, neighbor, husband, other spouse, cousin, you name it. And you can reach Brent at observerlocalnews.com. And naturally, we want to also let you know how to get some relief for those aching muscles, those aching joints. And we've got to let you know that Massage by Natalie and Company, they are sponsors of the podcast. And how do you find them? They're at 4871 Palm Coast Parkway Northwest, Suite 1 in Palm Coast. Their phone number is 386 227 7499.
Give it a shot. You won't regret it.
You won't regret it. And especially a lot of our veterans have achy, breaky joints and bones. And so every time we hear about it, we should say, go see Natalie. Of course, there are other options too. Yeah, the VA's there. VA, I don't know if Natalie's a contractor with the VA, but
She should. Yeah.
maybe
Through the
we'll
community. Yeah, through the community
maybe
care.
we'll send a note to her and see if
Become a
that's
vendor.
something that way she'll get some. You know what I heard as we got to take a break here in a minute, but quickly, talking with a doctor in Advent Hospital who said that he was told by a specialist who's a orthopedic doctor. He said, tell all your doctors who are specialists, don't avoid the community care network for the VA, because I've been getting paid faster and more than the insurance companies. So if you're a doctor, get networked with the community care with the VA, and don't push away any VA patients, because you will get compensated properly and in timely manner.
I believe so. You know that, and that's something that came up from back home in Puerto Rico. You know that the health insurance over there, they're a mess, and doctors try to avoid them. But when they see that you have a health insurance like community care through VA or TRICARE, oh well, they'll take that thing in a heartbeat, because they know they get paid on time, and that's very important to them.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with you in a flash. All right, we are back. And so we're back. And, of course, for the last several weeks now, 13 weeks past, we're in our 14th week of highlighting a president. And this week's president is Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce served from 1853 to 1857, a period marked by escalating tensions over slavery that edged the nation towards civil war. Born on November 23, 1804 in Hillsborough, New Hampshire, Pierce was a charming, affable man whose life was steeped in tragedy and whose presidency is often overshadowed by the era's divisive politics. A lawyer by trade, he rose through New Hampshire politics, serving in the state legislature as a U.S. Senator before becoming a compromise candidate for the Democratic Party in 1852. His good looks and genial demeanor earned him the nickname Handsome Frank, but his tenure was fraught with challenges that tested his limited political acumen. Pierce's presidency is most associated with the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854, a bill he supported to allow territories to decide for themselves whether to permit slavery. Intended to ease sectional tensions, it instead ignited Bleeding Kansas, a violent clash between pro- and anti-slavery settlers. Pierce's inability to foresee the consequences or manage the fallout cemented his reputation as a weak leader. his administration also pursued expansionist policies, notably the Gadsden Purchase of 1853, acquiring land from Mexico to facilitate a southern transcontinental railroad, a move tied to pro-slavery interests that further alienated Northerners. Less known is Pierce's personal anguish, which deeply shaped his life. His marriage to Jane Appleton was strained by her frail health and disapproval of his political ambitions. The couple lost all three of their sons, the most devastating blow coming just before Pierce's inauguration, when their 11-year-old son, Benny, died in a gruesome train accident witnessed by both parents. Jane, consumed by grief, believed it was divine punishment for Pierce's pursuit of the presidency. She spent much of his term secluded, writing letters to her deceased son, while Pierce turned to alcohol, earning whispers of being the drunkard president, though his drinking was likely exaggerated by political foes. Another obscure facet of Pierce's life is his brief but heroic stint in the Mexican-American War. As a brigadier general, he led troops despite no formal military training. During the Battle of Contreras in 1847, he was thrown from his horse, severely injuring his knee, yet continued to command, earning respect for his grit. However, political rivals later mocked him as a coward, a charge that stung deeply. After his presidency, Pierce faded into obscurity, criticized for his perceived Southern sympathies and failure to avert national division. He died in 1869 of cirrhosis, alone and embittered in Concord, New Hampshire. While history judges him harshly, Pierce's personal tragedies and earnest, if misguided, efforts to preserve the Union offered a nuanced portrait of a man overwhelmed by his times. Again, I've learned something this week. Things that you don't come up in your regular elementary or high school learning of the president.
Yes, indeed.
Here's a quote of the week, and it comes from Franklin Pierce in 1852. The power of government should be used with caution and only for the public good, not for sectional advantage. That is something that could be learned to today.
Today, yeah. One thing that caught my attention that they say in that report say that he drinks a lot, but that was exaggerated by the foes. But he died of cirrhosis, so they didn't exaggerate. Right. I think unless it was something else.
I guess to give him a pass if you witness your 11-year-old son killed by a train.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately,
he said all three sons died. No, one died of a train, and the other one.
All his sons.
His sons. Wow.
A lot of sadness in their life.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Franklin Pierce. As we mentioned earlier, with Mr. Pellman calling for some World War II era songs, June 6th is D-Day. So D-Day, June 6, 1944, marked a pivotal moment in World War II when Allied forces launched Operation Overlord, the largest amphibious invasion in history, on the beaches of Normandy, France. This operation was significant for several reasons. It opened up a crucial Western front, forcing Nazi Germany to fight on multiple fronts and weakening its grip on occupied Europe. Over 156,000 troops from the United States, Britain, Canada, and other Allied nations stormed 5 beaches: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. Facing intense German resistance, despite heavy casualties, particularly at Omaha Beach, the Allies established a foothold, enabling the liberation of France and the eventual defeat of Nazi Germany. D-Day showcased unprecedented coordination involving air, sea, and land forces with paratroopers, naval bombardment, and innovative technologies like Mulberry Harbors. It symbolized Allied unity and resolve, boosting morale among occupied nations and signaling the beginning of the end for Hitler's regime. The sacrifice of thousands of soldiers underscored the cost of freedom, leaving a lasting legacy of courage and international cooperation. D-Day remains a testament to the strategic brilliance and the collective will to defeat tyranny, shaping the course of modern history. Thank you to our
World War II vet.
or World War II vets, right? What do they call it?
The quiet generation.
This is terrible. Our greatest
The
generation.
greatest.
Come on, man. Greatest generation.
And they're very quiet. They don't like to talk much. I have spoke with the family members of World War II, and they say they didn't talk much about it. They just wait down the road. When they were very elderly. To
Yep.
tell the stories. They never told the story while they were growing up when they came back.
And thanks again. Just to let you know, in case you didn't know, June is PTSD Awareness Month. So that's post-traumatic stress disorder. If you have a loved one who's dealing with that and is a veteran, then you can direct them to us, and we can help him find resources. And if it's something that should be thought of as a claimable condition for service-connected disability, we're there to help with that as well. But the first thing is to seek treatment.
Seek treatment, absolutely.
Seek treatment. Don't let it get worse. Drivers. The DAV is seeking drivers to take veterans from their homes to their VA appointments, whether that's at the VA clinics, the medical center, to community care network appointments that have been set up by the VA, or to your compensation and pension exams for veterans benefits. You can call the DAV transportation folks at 386-439-2122. Find out how to become a volunteer. You do not have to be a veteran. You do not have to use your own vehicle. The DAV does have VA vehicles for that, and trying to get another one. But they do need some more volunteers to add to their list. That way they can spread the wealth, and the more volunteers, then everybody gets a turn, and the volunteers don't get overused. So
they may have a new one. I think I see you talking to one of our pretty soon retiree. He said he probably thinking about that one.
He is retiring for the second time, and that is First Sergeant Troy Caraballo.
Oh yeah,
who served in the U.S. Army for 24 years, and then became one of the instructors for junior ROTC right here in Flagler County at Matanzas High School, and did that for 20 years. So there's 44 years wearing the Army uniform, and great soldier, great mentor, great leader, and
he will be missed.
If you had kids, children that went through junior ROTC for the last 20 years, then they got a lot of good advice and a lot of good instruction from a good man. So, Troy, enjoy your retirement.
Fair winds and following seas, like we say in the Navy, my friend.
And like you were saying, he's even considering potentially being a volunteer driver for the DAV.
Right.
Just for a little something extra to do. That's what we encourage you to also consider. You can't just sit around at home, watch The Price is Right all day.
Oh.
So if you can volunteer one day a week, maybe just be on the list. If they give you a call and say, hey, yeah, I can do it that day, at least you answer the prayers for a veteran who needs to get to an appointment. All right, so some things that are coming up in the next week, and that's the Army's 250th anniversary. And there's a big parade that's being established and formed up in Washington, D.C. So that'll be a big thing for all the Army folks and for the nation to keep an eye out for that. This week that we're in right now, next week, the 8th through the 14th is Flag Week. And then, of course, Flag Day is also on the Army's birthday. So June 14th is Flag Day. So go to Lowe's and get one of those tax-free American-made flags, nice, crisp, with bright red, white, and blue, and make sure to put that out for June 14th at least, unless you fly it every day like I do.
Fly it every day and take care of it.
So, Eric, you got some things over there that we need to let our veterans know about local events?
Sure. The American Legion Flagler Post 115. This is just to remind you again that they're sponsoring their 5th annual charity golf tournament. This is going to be on Saturday, October 4th, 2025, at the Palm Harbor Golf Club at 7 a.m. They have registration. The shotgun is at 9 a.m. And they have a luncheon at 1 p.m. catered by Loopers. It's an 18-hole of golf, free hot dog at turn. That's a good thing. Range time, award luncheon, and player prize. So to register, call 386-585-5302. Again, 386-585-5302. Let me see what I got here. BFW Post 8696. Please support their event. They have their Thursday bingo day. They have on Monday Queen of Heart, Guitar for Vets on Tuesday, and so many more events during the week. So if you don't have anything to do during that week, sponsor their event. They're busy.
Okay. So try to squeeze in one more bit of information for you this week. And we're going to talk about the benefit for 100% VA disabled veterans. So this week we're spotlighting a benefit, which if you're in the military, maybe you remember Space Aid Travel. Well, Space Aid Travel is available for 100% VA disabled veterans. It allows eligible veterans to fly for free on Department of Defense aircraft, filling surplus seats after mission-critical passengers and cargo are loaded. This program, expanded by the 2019 John S. McCain National Defense Authorization Act, offers 100% permanently and totally disabled veterans a unique way to explore the country. To qualify, veterans must have a permanent, total service-connected disability rating and carry a DD Form 2765, which is a Department of Defense ID card, also known as the TAN card. Eligible veterans can travel within the continental U.S. or directly to Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Guam, and the American Samoa. Dependents may accompany them, provided they also have proper DoD identification. It is operated by the Air Mobility Command. Space Aid flights depart from select military bases and terminals. Veterans are placed in Category 6, which is the lowest priority group, meaning flexibility is key. Active duty members on emergency leave or other critical missions take precedence, so veterans should have a backup plan, like funds for commercial flights in case seats are not available.
And hotels, just in case.
Oh, you're going to definitely need, you're going to travel, you're going to need to stay somewhere.
Be prepared.
Registration is straightforward. Veterans can sign up in person at an AMC terminal or via email using AMC Form 140. Many terminals post schedules on Facebook, making it easier to plan. While Space Aid Travel requires patience, it is a fantastic opportunity for disabled veterans to travel at little to no cost. For more details, visit the Air Mobility Command Space Aid Travel page. So, if you want to be a muchalero.
Yeah, like me, this is a pretty good deal.
A muchalero, I learned that from Eric, and that's like a backpacker.
Like a backpacker.
So you can travel, just travel light, and you can hop around the world.
No rush. I think we met a couple that they did that for, they even went overseas, many times. So they knew they had it packed, what time they leave, the flight.
I had was a retired Army Filipino soldier, and his wife would use it all the time. They'd go from the East Coast on the MAC flights over to the West Coast and take that up to Alaska and then get to Asia, and then they would, once they got to Asia, just take a cheap commercial flight into the Philippines.
Indeed. So they save a lot of money.
Saved a lot of money.
A lot of money. You have to be patient, be prepared, and
it sounds fun.
Yes.
Well, folks, we're down inside the 2-minute warning, and so when that happens, that's when we got to let you know. Well, first of all, stick around for the Bugle Woogle Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from Company D by the Andrews Sisters. And I got to remind you that no country, no state, no community does more for veterans than the United States of America, the great and free state of Florida, the wonderful Flagler County, the lovely city of Palm Coast, and all of our beautiful beach cities. I ask you to be a victor, not a victim, to be educated, not indoctrinated, And most importantly, be kind to someone today, or many someone's, or just reach out and help somebody with something.
Very important.
Yeah. And then it'll make you feel better too.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back with you next week.
Bye-bye.
God bless.